Welcome, 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 welcome back to 3T's where we tell the truth. All praise be to the prime creator, the most high Yah. Glory to our King, all of our kings, the lost and the found. Well, a lot is going on right now in our lifetime currently, and people can't explain why things are happening, what's going on, but there's because they're not listening. We have to listen. That is a key thing, and I'll tell you why. Just that's how I'm going to start off in a minute. It's going to be in my intro, kind of. I might have to break this down to two different videos because it's so long. It is so long, so I have to most definitely get it all in. But I might have to cut it off at some point and finish it another time because it's that long. And we'll see. It depends on how fast I talk. So let me get into it right away. Um, let's see. I'll probably stop with. Um, I have 26 slides, so 13 each. Well, I guess we can start at good. Stop at good teaching. So let me make a note for myself to stop, just in case. That way I can stop dead in the middle. So, to all my people, to all my black people, to all God's glorious people out there, this is for us and the rest of the world because whatever happens to us affects the rest of the world. If you didn't know, everything we do, they do. Everything we say, they say. You know how we function, they want to function like us. So you got to understand the importance here. This is comfort for my people. So I want all our people to please understand all my people. I am not here to target anyone for the wrongs they have done or are doing. We we have all participated in the wrong ways of this world. These devils presented all the wrong ways to us, and we've all participated in it. This is the reason our people are called to truth. To inform the people the true way things should be done, a way of life that gives us real life, love, joy, happiness, good health, sound mind, fruitfulness, prosperity, and abundant living. Don't judge people, just listen. As the law of Yah reveals, the truth comes by a messenger, and faith comes by hearing. So listen. You got to open your ears and listen to when people are talking. You don't have to believe everything, but you don't know what they may say that you may need or give you understanding or help you or anything. You just don't know. And God could be sending an angel to you, or He Himself could be in your face, in your presence, speaking to you. And if you shine them on, because of, especially by appearance, how they look on the outside, it could be a homeless man. It could be a person who you don't agree with what they're doing, like a homosexual. It could be anyone. If you don't listen, you won't know who the Most High could be using, or a message that could be sent to you, or a warning, or an alert, or information that you may need. You just never know. So, training ground for Yah's anointed again, the fall of the blessed. This was spoken to the house of Jacob in Exodus 19, verse 5. Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my commandment, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine. And verse 6, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So this is what Moses was commanded, and that's what he did. When our people followed the law of Yah, we lived up to 900 years spiritually and physically ageless. No one died young. No one was without a need. Diseases and mental health was not an issue for our people. All the men of Yah were priests, not just one nation, like we're being told. This is in the same Bible. He said, a kingdom of priests, not a nation of priests. So even though Jacob had 12 sons that we are aware of according to the Bible, together they created a kingdom. One of their tribes was a nation, an individual nation. So our people have always been the keepers of the truthful and righteous laws of Yah until it was stolen and brainwashed out of our minds. You understand? You've got to know the truth because right now a lot is going on, and I'm trying my best to bring it. It's so much, it's like overwhelming for me, especially for a person like me. So y'all said to teach the commandments. This is still important today, just as it was, in the past. So everything I'm telling you is historic, but it still affects us the same way today. In Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6 through 9. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by thy way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be a frontlet between thine eyes, like a jewel, like a symbol. And thou shalt write them upon the gates of thy house and on thy gates. I'm sorry, of the post of thy house and on thy gates. So every day, all day, we should be discussing the law of Yah. Why? Because, the law which holds the things that edify us, builds us up, keeps us on the right track, not doing the things that tear us down. This is why we need to keep the law, because it helps to encourage and build us up and keep us on the right path, a righteous path. As our people are accustomed to these days, the wrong path, remember, Yah doesn't change, even if we do, just like our people changed back then. And they paid the price for it, and we are still paying the price for it today. If you did not know, I'm here to tell you. Now, American slavery. How did we get in America if our people were from another land across the waters? Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again, which is slavery, by, he said again, with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, which is that he was talking about your land. You will not see your land no more again. I'm going to send you away from here. And he said also, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. There's more scriptures pertaining to being sold out of our own land, but I just grabbed that one real quick because to help our people understand the connection, who we are, where we come from. We were the bondmen and the bondwomen. We were the ones who went from our homeland, and other people across this world and other places too, but in America was one of them, where we came from our country by ships. So it wasn't just America where they landed. They landed in a lot of places, the islands and other places. So in Isaiah 29:13, wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near to me with their mouth, oh, praise Yah, love the Lord, oh my God, like saying all these things, putting God in everything. He said, with their lips they do honor me, but have removed their hearts far from me, and their fear towards me is taught by the precepts or commandments of men. So how we're being taught by the churches, right? They're teaching us how we should fear the Lord, how we should fear the Most High Yah. Let me quit calling him Lord, because he's not the Lord. He's the Most High Yah, And he said in Isaiah 31, all the way to 3, he says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord. I'm just going to say it how it's in the book so I don't confuse myself or anyone else. He said, take counsel, but not of me. He said, woe to the rebellious children that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. So he's saying that you didn't ask me for strength. You wanted strength from the enemy, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion, which is your humiliation. So you got to understand, our people, instead of trusting in the Most High, who they had no reason not to trust him, kept trusting in the enemy, the one who mistreated them. The same thing that was happening then is the same thing happening today. Now, trust in oppressor. I'm just messing up today. Forgive me because I'm trying to go fast to try to get it all done, but we'll see. Trust in the oppressor. Who trusts in the oppressor? Baruch, chapter 4, verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations. Yeah, we know we were sold to the nations. Who else was sold to the nations? Not for your destruction, but because ye moved Yah to wrath. You were delivered unto your enemies. So we were not sold because it was just something someone felt like doing. It's because we moved our creator to anger, like we're doing now. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 8 through 13. Now go, write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever. Not their time, but a time that was going to come in the future. That this is a rebellious people, our people, black people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord or the Most High, which say to their seers, their prophets and preachers and teachers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophecy deceit, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. So they asked the preachers, don't preach right to me. Tell me things that make me feel good, not the truth, because it's convicting me. It's making me want to change, and I don't want to change. I want to keep doing this. He said, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because I'm trying to say you and ye at the same time, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness, which is being careless, living carelessly, I don't care, and stay thereon, which means rely on. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly as at an instant. This is what's happening to our people right now. They're being torn, and we don't understand it. We think it's just a person just passing away because it was an accident. It's bigger than that. Everything is bigger than what we see and think. You may have heard it. I'm pretty sure we all have, because people show love. Let me just go with what I said. Love thy neighbor. You've heard that we should love our neighbor as ourselves. This ordinance is misconstrued, explained wrong. Every devil, wicked, and lost person likes to use this scripture, but the same people don't follow it. In Leviticus 19, verse 17, it says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke him. So you can correct him. He said, rebuke thy neighbor. So he called him his neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So he's saying, you can do not hate your brother, you can rebuke him, but you cannot sin against him. Do not cause him to sin. Do not sin against him. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So he said, I am Yah. So a neighbor was of our own nation, not a neighbor as we see it today, like all these other nations. He wasn't talking about them. We were commanded to love our brothers and sisters, our people, and to be kind to strangers that are righteous. So we dealt with strangers accordingly. If you learn from the Old Testament, from the Genesis all the way to Malachi, which is the Old Testament, you hear him talking about what you can and cannot do to our people. So his commandments were specifically for our people because he is our Yah, our Almighty Creator, our God. We'll get to all the explanation of many things after that, but for now, that's what I'm going to tell you. Israel's sedition, or the Black Hebrew, the Black people, the African American, the whatever you want to call the titles that they give us. Besides mind control, brainwashing, witchcraft, being poisoned to be controlled, our people are still being destroyed for their own personal choices and desires. All the temptations around us within this system is destroying our people. From the mastermind of all this, which is the devils of this world, all the way down to the grocery stores. You understand? That means the school system, the justice system, the entertainment, the everything is corrupt. So it's destroying our people. Now in First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11, it says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded, convinced many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Proverbs 4 and 14 through 15. Enter not in the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. Jeremiah 10, 2 through 3. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the custom of the people are vain, which are meaningless, useless. They produce no good results. So their purposes, their customs do not benefit us. They don't produce good results for our people. They lead us astray and destroy us. And we'll get deeper into that. So you got to understand what he means when he says nothing's changed. That I'm gonna keep saying. I don't care if I keep repeating the same scriptures, repeating the same thing, because we have to make sure our people get it. We have to, like I told you in the beginning, faith comes by hearing. So if I keep telling you, then eventually, hopefully, I pray that it will click in, that the Most High will touch you and give you the understanding, because I can't give it to you. I can only give you the knowledge given to me. But he himself has to appoint you the understanding and get something to click in your head and say, oh my gosh, I got to stop doing this. Or I need to start helping my people. Or whatever it is that he wants you to understand. The things that benefit our people as a whole, as a nation. That's what we should be focused on. But many people don't get it yet. And that's fine, because it's all in his time. You have to wake up in the time appointed for you. So, what he's saying is, these people are evil. They're wicked. He calls them heathens. Their customs are vain. He called them their custom useless. Now, to the world, they would say, how can they be useless? I'm making money. I'm getting material wealth. How could he say they're useless? Because it ain't about the wealth of material. That's not real wealth. That's just, things to enjoy temporarily. But real wealth is good health, loving your family, a family bond, having support, and people you can count on. These are real wealth. Someone who knows how to heal you naturally without and pumping you up when you don't feel right with more things that can cause you to have more problems. This is real wealth, but we'll get into that. Now, evil is good, good is evil in this world. I mentioned that the world is doing things in inverse, backwards, forward, contrary to Yah's will for life. The things we do seem good, right? They do. They seem good. Isaiah 5 and 20. So, chapter 5, verse 20, he says, woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Now, let me give you a few examples of calling evil good and good evil. Like I said, don't forget what I said. I'm not targeting anyone. I want to edify my people, not tear you down or make you feel bad or do anything to discourage you, but I'm trying to encourage you. Now, fornication, having sex without marriage, lustfully, no love involved. That's one. Homosexuality, women and men. Bastard children, having children and not raising them, leaving them out there to figure it out for themselves. Promiscuous behavior, having sexual relations with many partners, no love involved, don't care who you're laying with, sleeping with this man, moving on from this man to that man to this woman to that woman. Addictions, which destroys our mind because sometimes people get so caught up in drugs and alcohol and other addictions, shopping. There's all kind of addictions, you know. It's not just drugs that consume your whole time, your whole mind. They take over your whole mind to where you don't focus on nothing else or anything important, especially gossip, dishonesty, robbing, stealing, murder, betrayal, greed, selfishness, and envy. These are the things that people call good and they are evil. Some says to themselves, I'm with him or her not because I love the person, but I love what they do for me or what they do to me. Others will say, can't nobody tell me what to do. I can go where I want. I can live where I want. I can say what I want. I can marry who I want. I can sleep with who I want. I can be in a relationship with who I want. I can love who I want. I can do what I want to do. I'm grown. But ask yourself, really? Are you grown? Because being grown is it's not an age, but character and morality. If everyone felt this way, saying, "Oh, I could do what I want. I'm grown." How does this state of mind affect our nation as a whole? Let me tell you, it helps to destroy us because it makes us inconsiderate and make things that are unacceptable acceptable. Homosexuality, having sexual relations with the same gender, steals, robs us, our people, our nation, our existence. It steals the opportunity for reproduction. It's slowly killing our existence as a nation. This is the new tactic being used against our people. Using us, this is one of the ways they use us to destroy us by making something seem good and okay, but it will bring detrimental effects later. Yah informs us of this, that it's wrong, unacceptable. It is contrary to his design when he created us. It's contrary to the design for our existence. Why does it happen? Because Yah allowed it to happen. Because he gave you free will and allowed you to do what you desired. He is not a God who's going to pull you by the hand and make you turn away. He's going to allow you to go in the way you choose to go because he gave you free will that he can't tamper with. He won't tamper with. And like I said, I told you in the last video, I would tell you why that, but it's not in this video. But I'll tell you why. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, 22. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22. Now, a lot of people I've heard on these programs, when these corner preachers or these street preachers are preaching, and the first people who come up to them are homosexuals, disrespecting these men of the Most High, saying, where does it say in the Bible that you can't love who you want? You can't be with who you want. Well, let me tell you. In Leviticus 18, verse 20, it says, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. Now, where else does it talk about it in the Holy Bible that everybody says they believe in and they trust in, and they're saying they're living according to the way God is? They're saying, I love the Most High. Yes, I am his child. You claiming to be his child. We're claiming to be righteous. But when we agree with things that are not righteous, then that makes us unrighteous. I'm not saying you can't love somebody because they're doing things wrong, but you don't encourage them to continue in their wrong, because that not only is destroying them, it's destroying you. Because in your mind, you've accepted it as good, and it's not good. And you will teach your children this thing, that it's good, it's okay, be what you want. No, it's not okay. It's really not. And it don't take a rocket science to know this. It's not only this, it's more to come. Now, what does, I'll explain what abomination means later, because I need to get this explanation about it because it's very important. Now, in chapter 1, verse 26 through 27 in the book of Romans. So this is Romans chapter 1, verse 26 through 7. It says, for this cause, Yah gave them up unto vile affection. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. So this is him targeting the woman, just like he targeted the man. And likewise, also the man, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meet. So when they joined together, it's what he's talking about. When they came together, it became error. It is not right. And like I said, it's only to edify my people. You see, I'm not targeting no one. I'm letting everyone know That's why I started with fornication. But we're going to get deeper into that. Feeble men. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, those who lead you cause you to err and destroy the way of your paths. So instead of men being faithful to one woman, they whore around, easily drawn away by a woman with a plump body, wearing short dresses, skirts, or tight clothing, made up faces, and made up hair. They are quick to commit adultery because they claim they are not happy, but don't divorce to avoid sin. Or some men who are in relationships just sleep around on women, not respecting this person, especially when they do it in secret, which is dangerous. No respect. Most have multiple children and do not raise them, basically, don't give a damn about them or what happens to them or how their life turns out. When Black women reprove or discuss real things with Black men, they react as if speaking the truth destroys their mind. Like, I can't take it. I gotta go. I gotta leave. But they take so much more from these heathens, these other nations, especially mental and verbal abuse, like being called stupid, which how Becky sees you and treats you. And the Black man confirms he's stupid when he sticks around. Most men are not men of the home any longer. Women laden with sin are dictating what goes on and what does not go on in the relationship and in the home. Not being the man and not allowed to be a man cause the man to lack confidence and respect for himself and the Black woman. Most lose love even for their children born through these women because they lose it for the woman. Does this affect the child? Yes. They may repeat these behaviors and activities when they grow up. Now, Black people are growing up with no love and respect for Black people because of these type of things. And here we are today. Where's the love? The real love in our people. I'm just here to tell you what's already been done. Pagan wives and their children. Now, like I said, people say, I can marry who I want. I can love who I want. Well, according to our Yah Almighty, you cannot marry who you want. You can't be with who you want. And as we see in the world, it's destroying us. It's obvious to me. In the book of Ezra, chapter 10, verse 2, and verse 10 and 11, it says, I skipped some names and I'm just going to go into what they said. We have we have trespassed against our Yah and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this. I'll get to what that means. But Ezra said, the priest stood up, which is Ezra, and said unto them, ye have transgressed, you have transgressed. You have committed a sin against our people and have taken strange wives to increase the trespass of Israel, of our people. Now therefore make confessions, repent unto the Most High of your fathers, and do his pleasure, and separate yourselves from the people of the land and from the strange wives to basically heal our people from the sin that they have caused on the people. Because once you commit sin, it affects the entire nation. What one of us do affects us all. Our people are commanded not to marry outside of our nation. Strange women practice and do strange things that cause our men to go astray from our Creator and a righteous path. Likewise, the women also are led astray when they go outside of the nation. Some of the strange things other nations teach our people are to not, to cheat on their wives, swinging, sharing spouses, sharing lovers, or whatever you want to call it. They teach them menage. They taught us menage a trois, having sex with, a man and a couple of women, or sometimes a man, a woman and a man, or same sex. Like they taught all this. They teach our people rape, child molestation. They play with a man and woman's butthole, licking a man's butthole, using sex toys with men who are supposed to be straight, sucking their nipples, whatever they want. It ain't even what they want. They introduce this stuff to our people. And some of them fall into that temptation. Oh, that felt so good. This type of play leads to plagues, diseases, and illnesses. Most sexually transmitted diseases come from these other nations because they are filthy and don't care who they lay with or what they get or who they give it to. These other nations accept and do things that are unacceptable. They do the shameless things. They are a shameless nation and they are deceiving, influencing, and leading astray our people and leading our people to the grave. Our priest and the church. In the book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 10 and 11. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, which are the Israelites or the people from back then that the Most High called his people, whose mouth must be stopped. He said they must be stopped. Their mouth must be stopped. Who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not. So they're teaching things they should not be teaching. For what? What are they teaching it for? For filthy lucre's sake. This is coming from the Bible everybody loves. Our preachers are not sharing what should be taught, at least the majority. I'm not going to say every single one is corrupt, but I can guarantee you that it is a handful that are actually not. Because why are they teaching us wrong? Because they are staying in a safe zone. That's what you call a safe zone for this corrupt system we're a part of, for America, to keep receiving government money. And, they know that they are deceiving the people, but it's greed, material gain, and secrets that they have committed in the dark that lead them astray, which cause them to lead our people astray. In Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 11 and 14, 25 through 27. So all of these different scriptures. It says, for both prophet and priest are profane. Yea, in my house have I found their wickedness, said the Most High, or said Yahshua. Because you see, when they call God, they're talking about Yah, but when they say the Lord, they're talking about Yahshua. That's That's in the Old Testament. Just for you, hint message. He said, I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem an horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers, the enemy, that no one doth return from his wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom, and the inhabitants thereof as Gomorrah, the place he burned down, and everyone in it, from the man to the woman to the child, and everything that they were doing in their wicked. I have heard what the prophet said. That prophecy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. I have dreamed. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets, that prophecy lies? Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own hearts, which think to cause my people, the black Hebrews, back then and now, to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. Yeah, remember Baal? I don't know if you know about Baal, but they built. So I've heard of two places they built the Tower of Baal. Baal. One is in New York. I can't remember where the other one is. Yeah, y'all don't know, but something's coming, and it ain't what they want it to be. Yeah. Good teaching. What is good teaching according to the scriptures? There's a lot of good teaching in the Bible. In Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Psalms, um, Proverbs, and throughout the whole entire book, there is ordinance, commandments. So it's not just in those specific books, even though those are the bulks of it. There's brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers who speak of ordinances throughout the entire book that was written by man and rewritten by the enemy. So it was rewritten by our brothers, and then it was rewritten by the enemy to suit them. So he says, and this is in the book of Titus, still in chapter 2, verse 1 through 5 and 7 and 8. Well, I guess you 1 through 8. He said, but speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, not teachers of, he's saying, not teachers of the wrong thing, but teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their husbands, that the word of Yah be not blasphemed. Young men likewise exhort to be sober minded, in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, not having no evil thing to say of you. So he's saying basically, have yourself right in a good way, being taught right, teach our children right, so that the enemy can't use nothing against us. But unfortunately, for a lot of us, it's too late because we weren't taught right. So we fell into a lot of wrongdoing, and we have been accused of doing wrong. But this is why we have to stop now and start teaching the right way to the children of the future. It's not about where we've been, it's where we're going. That's what matters because that's where it's counting. Black men's strength. Now, I'm going to make a video, hopefully. We'll see. I ain't going to prepare nothing because I go off of what comes to me. But I'm trying to link you to the past and the present. Here's one big one you got to understand. So, besides them leading us into fornication, which is the main thing, it has nothing to do with being same sex or not. It's just fornication, period. Having sex without love, no marriage. That's the biggest thing that destroys our energy. It destroys our power. It steals our glory that comes from our creator. And that's not the only thing. There everything we do that they know about in the Bible, they use it against us to help destroy us. This is what you don't understand. Marrying outside of our own nation, fornication. I mean, there's so many things. It's just cutting our hair, tattooing our skin. I mean, there's so many things, and it shows it. And I don't. I mean, it's showing. It's showing in all of us. The destruction is the reason for all these things because we're choosing to do these things ignorantly. Like he said, my people are suffering for a lack of knowledge. If you don't know, what you don't know can hurt you. It can. Like they taught us what you don't know can't hurt you. Yes, it can. It's been hurting us and it's still hurting us. We have to get back. We have to turn back. These devils are always trying to find a way to bring our people down, and they always start by using their whores to persuade our men away from the black woman. Knowledge of the reason we do the things that we're doing today will help us to understand why we are in a destructive cycle, why we are just, destruction comes upon our people so just drastically. It will help us to turn away from the wickedness, the evils that we participate in. It will help us grow and to get back our glory and our power and our good, and I'll get to that. Do you know why black men shave their hair? This is one of the main reasons why black men, besides, some people say it's because of slavery. When they start cutting our hair, that's when we start continuing to shave our hair. It's deeper than that. Everything that we do was inflicted on us, we were subjected to, and we just continue to do it, not understanding the birth of it, the reason, the birth of the idea. First of all, not the birth of the action, but the birth of the idea for us to even get involved into doing these things. It always came from the Bible. We are living the Bible, even to this day. I'm telling you, man, oh my gosh, I wish everybody just read it and you'll be like, oh my gosh, oh my God. Like everything will be revealed to you. They don't have no knowledge. They're using our knowledge to keep us bound. We'll get into that. I've already said a lot about it, but I'm trying my best to be as detailed as possible. I'm really not a detailed, I'm a to the point type of person because I feel like we don't have time to waste. Leviticus 21, verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their heads, neither shall they shave off the corners of their beards, nor make any cutting in their flesh. Tattoos. Now, why is that important for the man? I believe it all comes together with every ordinance and every commandment. But this is just one that you're aware of that our people do today. And it does affect us. But this is why America always tell you, shave your head. Like they just told this little boy. I don't know. It's crazy how this stuff be coming to me and I don't even be looking for it. The little boy in Texas, they told him shave his dreads or he can't graduate from school. He can't walk. No, he can graduate, but he can't walk. He can't take that walk. Like that's how they deceive us. so that we can cut our glory, so we can cut our strength away from us. Oh, I can't graduate. Well, let me cut my hair because I want to walk. Not realizing the reason why they want you to cut your hair. It ain't about the walk. It's about what it's stealing from you. It's stealing our men's strength. Now, in the book of the Holy Bible, in the book of Judges, there's a man named Samson who married a woman named Delilah. But before he married her, he had did all these things. So I'll explain that to you briefly. There was a She was a Philistine, so he was outside of our nation. So the Philistines wanted to defeat him for giving the Philistines a lot of hell because they could not beat him. They could not win they couldn't destroy him. He was aggressive and violent towards them. And he did it with like, I don't care. And they could never destroy him. No matter what they did, nothing worked. He would always triumph over anything they threw at him. So they told her, we need to know his strength, where it comes from. So they told his wife, the outsider, same thing happening today. Don't get it twisted. Just because you don't see it, don't mean it's not happening. This is why our men are falling, especially when they make it big in the industry. This is why they are falling. The Philistine woman, for money, for her own personal gain, like I explained in an earlier slide, for her own personal gain, she wanted money, obviously that bad, over her husband, that she was willing to deceive and betray him and cause him harm, lead him down a deadly path. So she asked him, where do you get your strength from? How do you break those ropes? How do you break those bounds? How do you do it? So he lied to her 3 different times that she came and asked him, because every time, it didn't turn out the way she wanted. So they didn't conquer him. So she kept saying, something's not right. That must not be his strength. So she kept asking him. He kept telling her lies. Then eventually she asked him, where did his strength come from again? And he told her, because she was pretending like she was so sad and so hurt. Oh, I thought you loved me. Oh, that fake ass Becky stuff. She was pretending like she was so broken into pieces about him lying to her. He just broke down with his weakness, like he got to hurt his emotions or something, and told her the truth. He said, this is exactly what he said in Judges chapter 16. Oh, I didn't even put the verse. I'm sorry, but it's in chapter 16. You'll find it. He said, no razor. So he had braids, long locks. He said, so this is how you know it was a black man. I'm telling you, keep the message. No razor has ever come upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite to Yah from my mother's womb. If I am shaven or shave my head, then my strength will leave me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. He just compared himself with every other nation. He said, if I cut my hair, I will be weak like every other man. Now, he told her his secret. This heartless whore, his wife, she was a woman from an outside nation. A whore has no love in them. They can betray, deceive, or hurt you to benefit themselves. You got to know who you're laying with. And this goes for the men too. In the same book, Judges, so that must have been verse either 17 or somewhere around there between 10 and 17, the last one. So this is Judges chapter 16, verse 18 through 21. And when Delilah, which is her name, his wife, Samson married, saw that he had told her all told her all his heart, which gave up the truth about where his strength came from. She sent, and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, because they convinced her to do this. They said, come up. She told them to come up this once, for he hath showed me all at once. I don't know why they said this once. They must have had an error or something. She told them, he has shown me all his heart. So she's telling everything that he confided in her. And this is supposed to be her husband. She's supposed to love so much. That's what she said to convince him to tell her the truth. Oh, you love me. I thought you loved me. You telling me lies. But you going to tell everything he just told you. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and brought money in their hands to pay her for her wicked deeds against her husband. And she made him sleep on her knees. Oh, baby, come here and lay with me. You know that old fake stuff that they do to get what they want. And she called for a man, some strange guy, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. Now, and she said, the Philistines be upon thee. Now, listen, she cursed him after she did all this for money. She said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson, while he was asleep, though. So she's over him while he's on her lap, thinking he got a good woman. She's cursing him while he's asleep, shaving his head off. And he woke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times before and shake myself. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him. So they're saying he did not know that the Most High Spirit was removed from him after he shaved his head. But the Philistines took him. So this is 21. So he went out, and the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters and of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. So she destroyed him by what she did, by betraying him. Once Samson's hair was cut, his strength was gone, and the Philistines brought him down. Later on, he died. So they plucked his eyes out. So right after she told them that, they plucked his eyes out. Women whores in our nation. So you got to understand, before I continue, you got to understand our strength lies in everything that we turn away from. The things that will heal our nation and our people lies in the things that we refuse to accept and become a part of, or inject into our lives, into our daily practices, into our beliefs, into our way of being, because we think we know what's going on. But just because you know something does not mean you have knowledge. Like he said, my people, all them people thought they were wise and smart. But why would he say, my people, they suffer for a lack of knowledge? So all these people, I'm pretty sure they thought they were smart. They thought they knew what was going on. They thought they knew it all. They thought they were doing things right. But how did you get destroyed if you were doing everything right? Same thing that's about to happen to our people now. The same thing that has been happening to our people all the days of my life. You know what I mean? Now, in Isaiah, this is to the woman now, our women. I talk about the men, the women, everything, everyone, all of us. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24. And so it shall be. This is what he said to our women back then when they were whoring around, putting on pretty clothes, putting on perfumes, doing their hair up, putting on tight clothes, everything the same. He said, instead of a sweet smell, there will be a stench. So you will stink. Instead of a sash and a robe or fine clothing, so he's saying basically, you will have, instead of a sash, a pretty little, like a scarf or something around you, you will have a rope. This is what he told our people. So this is, I'm telling you how we connect to the past, and I'm telling you how it affected them, and I'm telling you that this stuff still affects us today. Instead of well set hair, baldness. Instead of a rich robe, a girding of sackcloth. So he went from fine clothing to rags. And instead of beauty, you will have branding. So they said, and branding instead of beauty. So then remember, they branded our people with the fire, the iron. They put it in a fire and they put it on our people's body. Who are they talking about? Who did they ever brand? To them, to our people, to the woman, the way they were walking, just like today, the way you talk, the way you dress up, the way we look, trying to look in the mirror, trying to put on, make sure that skin is tight, make sure them lips is right, make sure that booty's plumped and out and everybody can see that breast is out, the breast is open and you can see everything, make sure everything's tight and in place so when you walk, everybody can see your strut, you know. To us, to our people who think that way and do these things, even I participated at one point too. To us it seemed good. It drawed lust from the men, which caused them to sin. And Yah punished our women for their choices when he did that. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 14. He said, the mouth of a strange woman is a deep pit. He that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. So if you are against everything and want to walk contrary to the Most High, you will fall into your lust. If some people say, well, no, I've been dealing with this person for so long, so I don't think anything wrong has happened, that's what you think. The Most High is patient. As you can see, there's still evil people in the world right now, even though he's starting to check them out right now. He's always been checking them out according to his time, not ours. Same thing is going to happen to everyone in wickedness. But he's given his people and the rest of the world a grace period, as I mentioned before, to get right. That's why he keeps sending messengers. That's why he keeps waking people up. He's drawing, and right now the devil is fighting us more than ever because he know it's about to come to a close. All the evil, all the wickedness is going to be erased from this earth. Now I'm going to ask you, all the women, are you proud to be a mother? I guess I should include the father too, because they're of course a part of it. Well, for those who say yes, that's good. Are you showing how proud you are in your child? Or is it just ignorant boasting? Are you teaching your child or your children the things that they will need to know when they grow up, when they go out into the world? Are you patient with your child? What do you think a child should know? Or what should they have learned by the age of 7? Like, you got to know what should be taught to a child and what a child should know and what they should not know, depending on their age level. Many of our women are not being good examples or role models for their children. Children are being taught to dress provocative, especially the young ladies, or dress like gangsters. If this is what they see or this is what they're shown, this is what they'll do when they grow up. And these behaviors or these even a dress code can cause them to go astray as they get older because they will try to connect with people who dress like that or act like that or and it will lead them to destruction. Our children are being taught. Our children are not being taught to respect themselves or others, especially their elders and their people. They're not being taught love. They're not being taught appreciation. And we wonder why our people grow up not loving each other. Do you communicate and teach your children good things such as morality, character, self knowledge, and righteousness? love, or are they learning as they go through life, picking up whatever seems good to them? Because the world is a teacher too. So are you going to teach them, or is the world going to teach them? This is important. The devil's reward. The devil will reward you for your submission and oppression, allowed oppression. It's all deception. In the book of Maccabees, first book of Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 18, it says, "Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandments." So they were speaking to one of the men of Judah, telling them to come and sin against God's commandments first, just as all the heathens have done. So they're saying, "Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathens have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem. So shall thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards." Now, doesn't that sound familiar today? Isn't that how the heathen do people today? If they can get you to away from God's will and his purpose for your life, they'll reward you. So you think you're doing something good. You marry one of these heathen wives, you think you're doing something good because all of a sudden you seem to be prospering, but you don't realize that your destruction is coming. This should help you understand how the enemy operates. By using money and materials, wealth, or gifts to persuade our people to do what they want, to bring about an outcome they desire. Because everything they do is to destroy us. Make no mistake, the battle has never ended against us. Proverbs 23, verse 1 through 3. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat. If thou be a man given to appetite, be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. So he's telling us, our brothers is telling us, don't think this is your friend just because he invited you to his house. You might as well cut your throat if you think he's your friend. If you want anything from him, you're just being deceived. Everything he does is to destroy you, even when it looks good. Our enemy has studied us for centuries and knows how to persuade our people to do what they want, from betraying your own mother to killing your brother. I know we all want to live good, and that's fine, and we should want that, and we should pursue it. But what are you willing to sacrifice for it? Yes, the devils of the world will reward our people for their submission to their way and for not complaining about being oppressed. But at some point in time, they will take back what they gave you, one way or another. Ask our brother Kobe Bryant. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. May he rest in wherever he is. But they just like Michael Jackson, Prince, everybody. Birth of sin. Now, sin was born after man was created. How? Satan, which was one of God's first creations, well, that we are aware of, and he could have made many more before that. But according to the scriptures I found, they were made first. And Satan became jealous. So Satan tempted our people, not forced them, but tempted them, like they do with money. Hey, I'll give you this, or hey, but he had a different power, so he can create an illusion for you and make you a delusion, and make you think something was there that was not. Make you think something was, and he could create. He was able to create apparitions, which is a false projection of something. So he didn't force man to do nothing, but he tempted man to sin. So, what was and is Satan's sin? What is his sin? His sin is tempting, lying, deception, and murder. In the book of Enoch, one of the books, because I found three different versions, one of my books, in chapter 98, verse 4, it says, even so, sin has not been sent on earth. So that means something must have come from somewhere else. Someone didn't, from somewhere else, didn't send sin to the earth. But man of himself has created it. And under a great curse shall they fall who committed. So all these sins I just listed, what causes curses in our lives. And more, believe me. Every video I've made that talk about the things that are destroying us is causing us to fall. The same thing that caused our people to fall then in history, because all this is about history, but it still applies to our people today. The same things back then that caused our people to fall are the same things that cause our people to fall today. In the book of Sirach, which is in the Apocrypha, which is also called Ecclesiasticus, chapter 49, verse 5, says, therefore he gave their power unto another, or to others, plural, and their glory to a strange nation. Why do you think this Caucasian is in his position? That was our glory. That was our inheritance. That was our abundant living. But because we wanted to walk away from God's way, oh, get God's law away from me. I want to try what the heathens tried. He took our power and our glory and gave it to a shameless nation who pretended to be godly, who still pretend to be godly to this day. But you got to know, when they pray to a God, it's not our God. There's no way they could be praying to our God if they're committing wickedness and evil against us. Sedition, 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 rebellion, rebellion. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up the voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9 through verse 11. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yah, but be not deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, effeminate. So that's men who act feminine. No, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. That's homosexuals. Nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Yah. Which is within personal connection to the Most High. Things that will lead you to life and take you from death. The kingdom of God is within us. We're looking for a kingdom to come from the sky and fall on the earth, and everything's going to be all perfect. Well, you can stop waiting, because you and your choices determine how things will turn out for you. not waiting for the Creator. As far as, yes, we should wait for certain things for Him to give us instructions or to speak to our men to give them information that we may need, depending on what the situation is. Yes, there's things we should wait on, but some things we didn't wait for Him to choose to do wrong. So you need to not sit around waiting for Him to cleanse your soul from the things you've done. You have to change. And such were some of you, but ye are washed, but ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of Yeshua and by the Spirit of the Most High Yah. The earth will be destroyed. I'm sorry, the surface of the earth will be destroyed, leveled to rebuild it up again, changed for all the people who want to live righteously. Evil will be destroyed, all evil. So he's saying that some of us were just like everyone else, but we were washed. So that's letting you know that you can change. Everyone can change. Anyone can change if you trust him to help you change. It's not easy because the more you try to change, truth be told, the harder the devil will try to get you to turn away from your change. He will bring people around you who you used to love so much or things you used to love so much. And if that doesn't work, if you have conquered your physical desires, if you have, you know, mortified the deeds of the body, is what they call it. If you have stopped allowing your body to choose what you do and your emotions, your good feelings and vibes inside that leads you into wrong things, then he will try to do it by poisoning you with sickness, cause you sicknesses, diseases, or lay stumbling blocks before you. I mean, and these is real life things that he will try to do to you, but nothing can hurt or harm you unless you are involved in sin. Truth be told. Yes, you can get sick. If they put poison around you, you can get sick, but it ain't going to kill you. But that's their goal. They're trying to kill you, but it won't kill you. Jeremiah 23, chapter 3, verse 20. Surely as the woman breaks the faith of her husband, so have you dealt treacherously with me, O house of Israel, said Yah, or Yahshua. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth, and I repeat this. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. Black people, this is the main reason our people are experiencing all these atrocities from our enemy of this world, things we can't explain, people dying, it don't seem right, people are getting sick, it don't make sense. Things are happening to our bodies, our minds, our people are just losing control. All these things are happening. We're being attacked by the Satans of this earth because we have participated in sin. We are not unified. We are not loving our own selves, our own people, doing the things that will help us to knock all this out of our nation and away from our people. What one does can affect us all, and you've got to know that. Let me explain something to you before I continue. All these other nations are family oriented, and I've said this before. Now, why do you think that our people are so divided mentally and spiritually from each other, disconnected, don't show genuine love towards one another? despise looking at your own self, want to change our hair, want to change our image, want to change our bodies, want to surgery up ourselves, want to put on, do all these things. Why do you think these things? You think it's just because we just woke up one day and wanted to change ourselves? This, we have been conditioned, like I mentioned before, for hundreds of years, the entire 400 years, to become this people that we are today. We have been conditioned to be this way. This is not who we are. So I can't stand when people say, oh, that's just how Black people are, because they're lost in ignorance or they're a coon. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. We're so much better, so much greater than what we think we are. And even in our worst times, it's still showing how good we are. After all we've been through, we're still shining in the darkness. Everybody's copying everything we do and say. Should let you know there's got to be something to it. More than what we can see or more than what we're hearing today. Closed ears. Y'all never gave up on us or our people. Our people, they refused and choose not to do his will. Lack of belief. Prefer sin over righteousness because it feels better, it looks better, it tastes better, it get me more money. Even though he said he would, the Most High Yah said he would forgive us if we turn back to him. He even called on our people, but no one would come out of sin to hear him call. Instead, our people turned their backs and closed their ears so they would not hear his voice commanding them and instructing them. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 35, verse 17, it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yah of hosts, the Yah of Israel, not the Yah of the world, like people are being taught in churches. He said the Yah of Israel, the Black Hebrew Israelites. Behold, I will bring upon Judah and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, all the evil that I have pronounced against them, which was in the book of Deuteronomy, the blessings and the curses. If you follow my way, the blessings shall fall upon you. If you don't follow my way, the curses shall fall upon you. Because he said, because I have spoken unto them, but they have not heard. And I have called unto them. So he's persistent, but they have not answered. The book of Isaiah 66 and 3. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delight in their abominations, their wickedness. That's what abomination is. So I said I would tell you, basically, abomination is like a great wickedness. Sometimes it may be so bad that you can't be saved or you can't ask for forgiveness, depending on how the Most High feels. But some people, according to the scriptures, have like Esau, the Caucasian, he has lost his total opportunity for repentance because of how he lives and the things he believed in and what he's done. 66, Isaiah 66 and 4. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fear upon them. Because when I called, not me, I hate when I do that. Like if I'm saying I am him. When I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delight not. So, what is a delusion? So, because we have chosen our own way, we chose to follow our own will and go against the Most High, He allowed us, like He said, I'll let them choose their own way. I'll let you, I will give you over to your own wickedness. I will. Because I'm calling and trying, and you just don't care. You don't want to believe. You're a non-believer, or you believe but you don't want to change, or you feel I can do what I want and be saved and repent. No, it don't work that way. It just don't. It's obvious that it don't. We have to change, all of us. Punishment for evil. Prejudgment has already began, like I mentioned before. It already began. Now I'm understanding that it started sometime after. Well, I guess, it's been going on the whole time, but in our lifetime, it seemed to have slowed down because our people were united. They were trying to come back together, and then here come the devil and the devils of this earth separating us again and leading us astray and turning us against each other once again, like they did us in slavery. Then we got out, we tried to come back together, and we were doing fine, and we were getting our glory back. And then here they come and shutting it all down by leading our people astray and throwing temptations at us and murdering our people and doing all these horrible acts. The same thing is about to happen again, because what's happening now? Our people are drawing back together. Not in a bulk, but slowly enough. Well, prejudgment has already begun. Time is up. Our people who have sold their souls for money and material wealth is reaping what they have sown. Look at your life and ask yourself, have I sold my soul? Either way, we all need to repent. The book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 7 through 10. To them who by patience, continuance in well doing, seek for glory and honor and immortality, eternal life. So, those who are patient, he's telling us to continue in your well doing, seeking for glory and honor and immortality and eternal life. So, does that mean I'm already saved? Or do I have to stay on the path in order to be saved when the time is to be saved? But unto them that are contentious, argumentative, who go against everything people got to say, oh, I do what I want, I don't agree with that, or I don't, who want to argue about it, and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, in indignation and wrath, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Jew first, and also of the Gentile. But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first, and also to the Gentile. Now, we, like I always say, we can be forgiven because as long as we have breath in our body and the end isn't here, then we can be forgiven. We all, the whole world, can be forgiven. The Most High foresees that a lot of these people, that's why they're being taken out, will not ask for forgiveness. Some of them have already sold their soul. Some of them can't ask for forgiveness because they have went too far. So even if they did try to ask for forgiveness like Esau, they will be rejected. So don't think because you have we're being taught that you can ask for mercy and repent that you can be saved, because it's all up to the Most High. It's in his time, it's in his choice to forgive you or not. It's him who does the forgiving. It's him who take the evil from our lives and cast it away from us. It is him who protects us if he allows us to have to walk through wickedness. It is him who destroys our enemies. Sometimes he uses our people to do it. It is him who is the real master, the head of all things. He's the real one watching, letting things happen, and stopping things from happening. Yes, we have free will. We can build a house, we can build a business, we can go to work, get up in the morning, we can do all those things, but who woke you up? Who gave you the breath to breathe? Who gave you the strength in your body? It is our Creator. Yah of the living. Mark 12 and 27. Mark 12, verse 27. He is not the God or the Yah of the dead, the Most High of the dead, but the Yah of the living. You, therefore, do greatly err. When we live sinfully, shamelessly, carelessly, we are already dead. We lack vital knowledge and understanding, and there will be deadly consequences for deadly beliefs and lifestyle. If we live contrary to the Most High Yah's will, the Almighty Yah will not acknowledge us. He will only wait so long for us to get right. And like I said, if you go beyond that threshold, there ain't no coming back. Wisdom of Solomon, which is in the lost books of the Bible, the Apocrypha, chapter 1, verse 13 and 16. For Yah made not death. He didn't make it. It was created when men sinned. It came out of nowhere, just like everything. Like what came out of nowhere? Just like when he created us out of nothing, or created everything out of nothing. It came into existence. It was called, conjured. Neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living. I'm sorry, the living. Neither does the Most High have destruction of the living. He does not destroy us himself. There are beings on this earth who will work to destroy you when you walk in sin. He said, but ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. So death, he didn't make death, but ungodly men, he didn't say ungodly spirits. He didn't say Satan. He did not say the temptations of Satan that caused men to fall. He said ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. Romans chapter 2, verse 11. For there is no respect of person with Yah. So everybody say, well, why would he kill a child or hurt that lady or hurt that old woman or hurt that old man? Yah don't respect persons. He don't think like us. We can't even begin to imagine his wisdom. He just gave us a little bit just to keep us alive. And look at what we do with that. Create a death for ourselves. So realize and know who you think you are and what you have. Let me say that again. Realize and know who you think you are and what you have doesn't mean a thing to our Creator. It's your character and morality that He sees. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 15. For righteousness is immortal. So to live right is to gain life, eternal, immortal, forever. Like I said, our soul does not die. The light, the star that came from wherever we came from before we came to this earth does not die. But if you live in sin, wherever you go after you leave this body, you're gonna be in a situation like if you were dead. But it's gonna be like a painful death. It's not gonna be you're gonna wish you were dead. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna wish that you just fall asleep and never wake up and that's it. But it's not gonna be that way. Our people walked away from the very thing that sustains our life. The thing that gave us life and sustained our life. Our people walked away from it then, and they're doing the same today. Even all these people who go to church, that doesn't mean you walking towards God or His way. A lot of people who go to church don't even read the Bible. They don't even learn the law. They don't learn nothing. They just listen to whatever the preachers say, sin all week, and hoping that they can be forgiven at the end of the week on the wrong day, Sunday. Even on that day, you're sinning. Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh my gosh. Listen, my people. Our people walked away from the things that sustained our life. We have fallen from grace. The grace of Yah, our living Yah, which is life to us and our souls. But when we choose the things contrary to the plan of Yah, we die. We die. Repent. It's time to repent before the shit hits the fan. This world is about to experience something we have never seen before. In the book of Matthew, they talk about something. In chapter 24, verse 21 and 22, they say, For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. Nor shall it ever be again. So he's saying, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Ask the Most High Yah for forgiveness of your wrongdoings and the wrong feelings that keep you or people bound to hate another. I'm going to say specifically for our own people. Loving our people is what's going to destroy us if we love our people or not. It's hard to love someone who's killing your children, but the Most High will have mercy on you for that. But to love your brother and your sister, your people, I don't know how He's going to deal with that, but He's telling us how He's going to deal with it to some degree, but not to the full extent. For all those who don't understand, everything is not written in a book. The book or the knowledge, like I mentioned before, was given to our people, and our people wrote it in a book. But there are some scriptures I found where they say that an angel, the Most High, told in one of his angels to um, go get some books and give them to Enoch, and then Enoch was supposed to take it and share the knowledge with his with our people back then. So that was what they call the law of the Most High. So those were the laws. So He gave them the things that would teach us how to live. Now, our brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers wrote all this other stuff according to how they saw things. Show some love. We have to start showing love towards one another, Black people. Some of you are not making it easy, believe me. I know. Just show the same fake love towards our people the same way you show the Caucasians and all the rest of these nations fake love until you start loving our people for real. Greet our people when you see them. Smile, wave, give a helping hand if someone needs it. If you're able to, make a joke, crack, put a smile on their face, do something. Start helping in a real beneficial way that feeds our soul goodness. Forgive our people who have done wrong towards you and replace all ill feelings with love towards our people. It is the right way to love our own people who we see day to day. How can the world of Black people who go to church so called faithfully say you love Yah if you don't love the people who are in front of you? Your Black people and brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers who you see every day, who you don't even smile at, who you turn away just so you don't say nothing to them or don't smile at them or don't do something positive towards them and say you love our Creator. First John chapter 4, verse 20 and 21. If a man say, I love Yah, and hated his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he or she love Yah whom he hath not seen? So they're saying if you haven't even seen Yah and you say you love him and you don't even love the people in front of you, you are a lie. And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth Yah love his brother also and sister. So it's not just brother, it's sister too. So before I close, which I guess I just finished the whole thing. Oh my gosh, that's 2 hours. I didn't mean to go that long. It just came, I just finished it. Shit hits the fan. When this shit hits the fan, we are going to need each other. We are one big puzzle of information and instructions given by Yah, our Creator, and we are going to need each other to put the puzzle together. Following Yah's instructions will keep us safe, help us to make the right decisions in rough times instead of losing our minds and joining into the calamity that is coming our way. So don't be quick to make the wrong decision. It's already begun, people. It's going down, Black people. Just be still mentally and physically and listen to the voice of our Creator. Something bigger than us is happening in the earth and to our people. So don't judge people when they're going through things you don't understand, but try to listen and understand and help them if you can. Second Esdras chapter 2 verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, or Yeshua, I brought this people out of bondage, and I gave them commandments through my servant the prophet, but they would not listen to them, and made my counsel void. As it was said in Ezra in chapter 10, he said, Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. So I believe that there is hope in our people today. So don't let history repeat itself by ignoring the things that has already happened that destroyed our people, but let us move towards change that will develop every area and aspect of our entire nation, that will bring us growth, healing, life, care and concern for one another, love towards another and one another, caring for each other. We need this. This is so desperately needed, and this is the only thing that will save our people as a whole. Love, caring for one another, loving one another, helping one another, growing with one another, building with one another, communicating with one another. We all have knowledge and information that everybody don't have. So this is why we have to come together, bring our knowledge and understanding and wisdom together and our skills and build our own everything. Just like Black Wall Street did with nothing, built everything and was functioning better than every town in the world at that time. And we had just came out of slavery. And right now our people actually have a little something, but we have nothing. Do you get me? So until next time, my people, sorry it took so long, but I can't be sorry for the truth. It needs to get out. So until next time, my people, I encourage me, you, and everyone else in our nation, and all those who are righteous, start thinking wiser and doing right, or seek the wisdom, seek understanding, seek the truth, seek where you lack. Because if you're not loving your own people and we're not working together, which most of the world, our people are not. But some of us are trying to bring us together. Some of us are trying. Some of us don't have the resources, but all we have is a word and we're sharing that. But we have to stop doing the things that are destroying us and start doing the things that will bring us up out of this darkness. Until next time, I pray Yah's grace and mercy will come to all and keep us all in this crazy, unpredictable time, and to give us wisdom and understanding, give us the knowledge, if not wisdom, but at least give us the knowledge, our people the knowledge and understanding that will guide us through this life and bring us back together, doing the right things, looking out for one another, protecting one another, helping one another, doing the things that we need done in our nation. So, y'all bless you all and have a wonderful, blessed night. Until next time, 3T's is here to tell you nothing but the truth, sharing my love and knowledge always for my people to encourage you, edify you, build you up, never to bring you down or destroy you. And I will love you eternally, even if I have to beat you up or cuss you out. And I'm just, I will never hate you though. I can't. I don't want to hate you, and I won't hate you. Just because we may not agree on something, don't mean I would hate you. I would not hate you. I don't hate nobody right now, no matter what I've been through in my life. I don't care what has happened. I may not like what they did, or I don't agree with it, or don't want it in my life, but that don't mean I hate you. I don't hate none of my people. I've always loved my people, and I will always love you. Don't ever doubt that. Even if you turn on me, I don't want to turn on you. That ain't my way. That's not me. I'm going to remain the same, like my God, my Yah. I'm the same today, yesterday, and tomorrow. You understand? So just because you got it in your head, I might be something. No, don't try to think for me. I got my own brain. I can think for myself. Don't try to think you know who I am or other people. Don't try to think for them. If you want to know something, ask. Ask. That's all you got to do. That's how you'll know. Ask. But until then, show some love to our people. Be merciful when they not right. You know, we can only take so much, but at least try to be merciful from the start. First, be slow to anger, and if they continue to leave them alone or do whatever you got to do. But try to love first. Show love to our people. We need it desperately. Desperately. And this is nothing but the truth. This is not a personal thing. This is not for me. This is for my entire nation. Everywhere. Y'all bless us. Y'all strengthen us. Y'all unify us. Y'all encourage us. Y'all and hinder every enemy that come up against us. He's on the way. Our people are rising up. You better know. Until next time, I love you, my people. Peace, love, prosperity for all my people. Sound minds, love, I said love. I can't say love enough. And power, black power. Restore our power and our glory within our own nation because we are the true leaders of the world. Have a blessed night or day wherever you are. If you're in another country, I love you. Adios. Sayonara. No, let me stop. Oh my gosh. I'm finished.